Hey guys, it's Mana here, and I am back with some more Everlasting Summer after a week of not really recording anything, and, because I haven't been feeling well. So I just wanted to say thank you real quick for all the well wishes that everyone's been giving me. I appreciate it. I've been yo-yoing back and forth between feeling like crap to feeling better today, and I'm gonna jump back in with some more Everlasting Summer. Ilana was about to say something, but at that moment the bell rang, calling the pioneers for dinner. I sighed in relief and quickly headed to the canteen, leaving Yolana behind. Simon, thank you very much. For what? The camp leader gave me a friendly smile. For the cake, of course. Sure. It was at that exact moment that I understood the true meaning of the saying, keep your thanks to feed your cat. Nope, don't get it. You didn't tell anybody. This ought to be a surprise. Yeah. That's my boy. And now, off you go to dinner. Olga Dmitrievna waved her hand, pointing at the canteen. I stepped through the doorway slowly and started to look for a free place. It turned out there were plenty today, so I got the chance to eat all alone. There was fish with mashed potatoes for dinner. Ew, to the fish. What misfortune, once again. I'll be left half hungry. And didn't we have fish for lunch? Is it a fish-only day today? Having pushed my plate with the fried sea dweller away, I laid my head on my hands and closed my eyes. But soon somebody came up to the table. Hey, are you all right? I'm fine, I replied without changing my position. Just tired? Yeah, a little. That's bad. Slavia said it seriously. Of course. You remember that we are going for the hike after the dinner, don't you? Have you prepared everything? What? Where? I opened my eyes and lifted my head up instantly. Lena was standing by Slavia. The hike? She was surprised. Didn't you know? No. I put my head down on the table and covered it with my hands. If only I could sink into the ground right away. The girls remained silent. I was left alone with my thoughts for some time, and that was fine by me. Maybe I could have sat that way until the end of dinner time, but the strong voice of Olga Dmitrievna was heard from the opposite end of the canteen. Guys! To celebrate the miraculous rescue of our friend and comrade Shurik, we baked this cake for you all. I lifted my head idly and looked towards the camp leader, but couldn't see anything beyond the pioneers' backs. A second, just a second, and nothing about me. Nothing about me rescuing Shurik or gathering the ingredients for the cake. And if that's how it ought to be, well, it would be wrong to expect anything else from our camp leader. Let's go. Or we won't get our share. Slavia smiled. Let's go. Lena agreed. Yeah, sure. I got up reluctantly and tagged along behind the girls. As we approached the crowd of pioneers, Olga Dmitrievna was just putting the cake in the center of the table. And now? The camp leader wasn't able to finish as Ilana rushed out from the pioneer crowd and dived into the cake. She managed to nibble at it a few times before she was pulled away. She was kicking and screaming. I stared blankly from the outside at all this drama. Alyssa smiling, Lena picking up some cream with her finger, all the furious pioneers around. I felt completely out of place here. I thought that if I closed my eyes now and opened them again, here I am, back at the safety of my apartment in front of my computer. I blinked, but nothing changed. Only the noise and the confusion became sharper. Yolana, that's the limit. Well, in fact, behaving like this is a bit over the top, even for her. Shurik broke into the conversation. Or is it a court-martial? Please, Olga Dmitrievna, since the cake is celebrating my return, it's no big deal. He hesitated. It doesn't matter. The camp leader turned to Yelena. And you. Today I'm going to punish you to the fullest extent, so you'll behave next time. Whatever. She snorted and turned back. You won't be going on the hike with us tonight. As if I wanted to. I was more than willing to switch places with Yelena and skip the hike instead of her, but who knew? If I had guessed beforehand, I'd have been the first one to go berserk and smash the damn cake. After a couple minutes of confusion, the pioneers started to disperse. You have to get ready too. There'll be a lineup at the square in half an hour. I looked straight into the eyes of the camp leader, trying to express my attitude non-verbally, but it seemed that I failed. Don't be late. Yelena was sitting at the table when I approached her on my way to the exit. So why did you do it? She looked very upset, but she had a right to be so. No, she does not have the right to be upset. Supposedly, according to the disclaimer at the beginning of this game, Yelena is 18 years old. If you are 18 years old, why are you acting like you're 9? Unacceptable. Sorry. No, I do not feel sympathy for this character. I wanted to, Yelena replied abruptly. So, you're happy now? Of course I am. And you? Good luck with the hiking. She smiled mischievously, sprang up, and rushed out of the canteen. Well, a little bit of luck wouldn't hurt. Walk and you shall reach. It was exactly the proverb that kept whirling in my head all the way down to the camp leader's cabin. Somehow, I just couldn't manage to argue, to pretend that I'm sick, or to just skip it without a reason. The events of this day taught me submissiveness, although sometimes whatever was happening made no sense to me. As I walked in, I had a thought. Well, in fact, how should I get ready? Clothes? I only have an overcoat and a pair of jeans. Anyway, I forgot to ask whether it's going to be an overnight hike or not. I couldn't think of anything better, so I grabbed a sweater that I had on me when I arrived in the camp. The night might be fairly chilly, and shuffled slowly off to the square. All the camp was already there, although it was about 10 minutes before the time Olga Dmitrievna had designated. I settled down near the edge and waited patiently. Night was falling. If viewed from the outside, what a fairly comical picture we would make. A crowd of pioneers lined up out of a sheer habit, like they were awaiting a silent command from the Bronze Agenda. And all this happening in the scarlet rays of sunset. And there he is, waving his hand and screaming, "Attack!" as roaring soldiers with red neckerchiefs charge into the battle against some ghostly enemy. But Olga Dmitrievna showed up and started to talk instead of Genda. It seems everybody is here. Great! I was so tired today that I couldn't even think about anything, so I ended up just listening to the camp leader. Now, today we'll go hiking. It is essential for every pioneer to be able to come and rescue his comrade, to offer a helping hand in the hour of need, saving them from a hopeless situation. We have to learn to do all these things together. A whisper that ran through the pioneer crowd suggested that most probably this truly epic expedition would end in a clearing in the forest, several hundred feet away from the square. Somehow, I thought so too. We'll walk in pairs. So, if you haven't chosen a partner for yourself yet, now's the right time to do so. Pioneers quickly caught on to the idea and started to match in pairs. It looked like I was the only one without a partner. Slavia was enthusiastically discussing something with Olga Dmitrievna. Lena was with Miku. Electronic was, of course, with Shurik. Well, it might not be a bad idea to go alone after all. Simon! The voice of the camp leader pulled me out of my thoughts. I went up to her reluctantly. I see that you haven't found a partner. Seems like it. Then you'll join Zanea. She is alone too. Couldn't imagine why. I was struck with the skeptical kind of despair that only a true loner can experience. So it appears that I'm left with the prickly librarian that I wouldn't risk spending a couple of hours with, even if I was paid for it. Although we both seem to be in the same boat now. I slowly approached Zanea. Well, I guess we'll be going together. She looked up at me. Don't you even think that I'm glad, Zanea said seriously. Why on earth should I feel glad? Why on earth should you feel glad? I asked naively. Never mind. It would be much better if you just shut up. I don't know who's worse, Zanea or Alyssa. It couldn't get any better than this. She turned her back on me and followed the other pioneers. I still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. Anyway, we were walking on the well-trodden forest trails, and it would be quite difficult to get lost here, even if I wanted to. Moreover, while we'd already been hiking for half an hour, we weren't rushing into the depths of the forest trying to face all the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits, but instead we were just walking around in circles. However, if we take into account that Olga Dmitrievna was our chief, this hike could be compared to a hobbit's march from the Shire to Mordor. Just as Zanea insisted, I was following her at a distance in silence. The librarian seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, don't you know when we'll reach our destination? Our what? Ahem. The place where we'll settle down and set up camp. The whole point of this hike isn't to set up camp, but the hiking itself. You don't get it. Yeah, it seemed that I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still, I don't know, she replied sharply and quickened her pace. I caught up with her and asked, Listen, why are you always so... I was about to say mean, but stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you, and I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise. Always so what? Well, unsociable, kind of... Or is it something about me? Oh, cut that stupidity out already. As you wish. I decided not to start a conversation with her for the rest of the hike. At last, Olga Dmitrievna decided to end the Sisyphean toil. It's time to halt. The place chosen turned out to be a quite large glade with a few tree trunks laid in half circle to make an improvised arbor, with the remains of a campfire in the middle. Obviously, such hikes are a tradition at this camp. I was sent to gather firewood together with the other boys. It didn't take long because there were a lot of branches and logs of various sizes lying around. Eventually, Olga Dmitrievna lit the fire using some old newspapers. I was eager to know what was written there, but couldn't discern anything other than Soviet symbols. Pioneers took their places on the fallen log benches and started to talk about things. It seems that the final goal of this event had been achieved. The only things missing were a pot of fish soup, aluminum cups of vodka, and a guitar. But I wouldn't be surprised if all these would appear somehow. What are you thinking about? Slavia sat next to me. Oh, nothing special. Just enjoying the hike, I answered sarcastically. You don't look too happy. Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that. Okay, I won't disturb you. She sat with me for a while, but after realizing that I wasn't in the mood of talking, she left me to enjoy my introspection all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down in bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. But I was being surrounded by smoke and the useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. They were cheering and laughing, and in general enjoying this warm summer evening. In the far side of the glade, I noticed that Lena was arguing with Alyssa intensely, and Lena seemed like complete opposites to me. Slavia had left to go somewhere after our conversation, it seems. Electronic and Shurk were trying furiously to prove something to Olga Dmitrievna. Looks like I'm the only one who doesn't belong here. Yeah, why not? Let's find out what Alyssa and Lena are arguing about. Because Lena's not argumentative. Alyssa is. But on the other hand, why should I care? All I was doing was just watching the fire. There's a saying that claims that one could watch it forever, as well as running water. But there was also some third thing there. What was that? One could watch 3 things forever: burning fire, running water, and how other people work. The camp leader pulled me out of my daydreaming. Simon, don't you think that it's too early to relax? But what else would I need to do? I honestly couldn't get what Olga Dmitrievna wanted from me. I don't know. She stopped for a moment. But if there's something to be done, then do it without hesitation. She smiled ambiguously and went back to the fire to throw a few branches on. After those words, I am completely sure that she treats me like a personal slave. Or at least like I'm a free labor force, which is, strictly speaking, the same thing. I sighed and put my head down on my hands, hoping my torment would be over for today. And I'm gonna end it there before I start coughing up lungs. And hopefully I'll be feeling up to making more videos this week. I'm still feeling kind of iffy. I figured I could at least get this one out because it doesn't involve a lot of thinking on my part. Anywho, I will talk to you guys later. I'm signing off now. Bye.